As shortly we are about to start the event, I will request everyone present out here to kindly put your cell phones on silent so we can be attentive towards the event. Moving ahead, a very good evening to all of you, a very warm welcome. Firstly, I would like to extend a note of thank you to everyone present out here for becoming a part of this prestigious event and gracing with it your presence. Thank you, everyone. A huge round of applause for everyone who is present here, our delegates, our guests of honor, everyone out here. I shall now like to put some light on why we are here on I-30 Learning Center. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen, iScholar Knowledge Services Private Limited, Bangalore-based EdTech company is a pioneer in blending learning model. iScholar has built digital learning solution to transform learning delivery, improve outcomes, and provide productivity tools using PC, tablets, and mobile phones for 24/7 access to learning knowledge content for students. The company has developed a learning management system, content management system, web-based and Android-based learning solutions to meet the need of the schools and students. First to introduce blended learning training programs in India in the name of I-30 Learning Center. It now operates in more than 16 states and has now achieved the milestone of opening 100 centers. A huge round of applause for the milestone achievement. That's not all. IKSPL is founded by Colonel retired Rajendra Nadella and is partnered by leading Bollywood celebrity, entrepreneur, and philanthropist Vivek Anand Oberoi and Rangsing Technology Mysore. Amongst its leadership team, I-30 learning centers have associated with the best of teachers to bring the high quality education to every nook and corner of the country. That's not all. Their state-of-art blended learning leverages of using cutting-edge technology without compromising on the values of Indian educational system, providing a two-way interactive and highly engaging learning environment for students. To start the event, we have dignitaries and delegates who have honored this esteemed, prestigious event with their gracious presence. Now I will call upon Ganesh Talpade to felicitate our guest of honors and delegates. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Ganesh Talpade. Now I will call upon firstly, Colonel retired Rajendra Prasad Nadella, MD and CEO. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Next, calling upon on stage, our dignitary, Dr. Pramod Sardoshi. And joining on them on the stage is Dr. Uma Ahuja.
Uma Ahuja is just joining us in a bit.
Uma Ahuja will be joining us in a bit.
Stuck in the traffic, so.
And joining them on stage is Major General Dr. O.P. Gulia, SM, VSM retired. And the another guest of honor is who doesn't need an introduction at all. Shri Shreyas Talpade, lead partner, Maharashtra and Goa. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'll request Shri Ganesh Talpade for opening remarks. Thank you so much.
Right. First of all, let me apologize. We started a little late. We were supposed to start a little early, but I think the Mumbai traffic has done its bit. But I'm so happy. I'm so glad that we could actually start now. And with that, I would like to welcome all my dignitaries who are on stage. So welcome. Thank you very much for being here this evening and gracing us with your presence. I would also like to thank all of you, all the people who are here, who have kind of beat the Mumbai traffic and reached here on time. So thank you so much for being here. To take the event forward, I just wanted to take a step back and talk about when we were thinking about this event. We were thinking about how we should, what we should name it, what should we call it, etc. So we realize, SN, the name that we have given for this event, that kind of fits the bill, properly for this particular event. The reason being that ascend means, you grow a little, or you start somewhere and you take a next step. So we thought, this is a platform where all of us come together and all of us have aspirations to take that next step, aspire to grow to the next level. And we thought that this is probably the best name that we can give it, because all of us together as partners can come together and grow together and grow in the right direction, right? So that's the reason why we thought we named it SN. Now with that, as I said, warm welcome to all of you. We would now move to the next section. The next section would be that we would want to our dignitaries to light the ceremonial lamp. So Colonel Saab, may I request you to do the needful? Thank you. Why don't you invite the first speaker? Thank you to everyone here for, we've now officially started the event. So now I would hand it over again to the host.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll now, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. Joining us on stage is our next guest of honor, Srimati Uma Ahuja. Thank you. And for giving more valuable insight on the same, we have our guest of honors and delegates who have already joined us. And what I can say more is, I will really like them to interact, share some few experiences, and guide us on our journey. And for doing that, I would like to call upon Colonel Retired Rajendra Prasad Nadella, MD and CEO, to enlighten us about the business model, Colonel retired Rajendra Prasad rendered 16 years of exemplary services to the nation as an officer in Indian Army. His service included multiple tenures in counter-terrorism operation in Northeast and Kashmir. He also served a tenure in Elite National Security Guard, NSG. He was awarded Chief of Army Staff Commendation Card for gallantry during the counter-terrorism operation in Kashmir Valley. For the last decade, Rajendra has been involved in education and training industry. He is leading to initiative to establish iScholar with a view to reach out to much larger base of students, including those in remote corners of our country, with a vision to provide quality education for all. He is driven by a passion to empower students for a rural background and those who are financially challenged. He understands the need to democratize quality education and intends to achieve that by addressing the gap in the accessibility and affordability by leveraging the technology. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Colonel retired Rajendra Prasad Nadella, MD and CEO.
Hello, good evening. Namaste, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. I must start by saying I come from Bangalore, so Mumbai traffic doesn't really impress me. Of course, during monsoons, rivers on your roads are a different story. We bow to your superiority. Now, coming to the topic, I mean, as a personal experience, most of us have seen around us that society, most of the people are looking for better life. More than for themselves, more for their children. And almost everywhere, education is one field that is chosen that people can go, you get a good education, probably get a good job, and it improves the life. That is aspiration, majority. Very few are as talented as Shreyas, who can take up an alternate career and still do very well there. For most of our lesser mortals, education is the sole key. Having said that, opportunities are not similar everywhere. In number of places, there are not enough schools, or nowadays, of course, with right to education, a lot of government schools and private schools, schools are available, but the quality is a problem. Number of places you have a school with probably 7th grade or 10th grade and only 5 or 6 teachers. It's, I mean, even Newton won't be able to figure out how 5 teachers can teach 10 grades with 5 or 6 subjects in each grade. So that's the story in most of the government schools. There's a compromise. It's a force because we don't have enough resources to set everything right. And even where there are teachers, quality is not the same. There's much to be desired there. And leaders like Ajim Premji have set up universities to train the teachers, which is a very logical step, that you need a training of teachers on a mass scale to improve education across the country. I mean, we have certain centers of excellence. We have the IITs, IIMs, and many IIITs, and also even private sector number of schools and colleges that are exceptional or at par with best in the world. But when we are talking about a larger education space, what we are giving to the last child, that also has to be of minimum quality. Otherwise, we are doing a disservice to our next generation. Then, having understood that, what do we do about it? So if what Premji University is doing, it will take 100 or 1,000 such universities and 10, 20 years of effort to bring overall quality to an acceptable level. But then there are students in the classroom today who need solution today. That's where we thought there's no option but to leverage technology. Without leveraging technology, you can't address this problem at a mass scale. And from a business perspective, anything that you solve a problem, then you have an opportunity at hand. This being a, say, initiative where we are talking about a business side of it, I'll keep it as straight on that. So there is a pressing need for the society, and there is a way which we have figured out can do that. And when we are talking of technology, some of the players, what you have is a app is there. There's a content, pre-recorded content. It's available on app. Someone can go online, pay the fees, download app, and they're on their own. So content is very good. There's no doubt. But then even a great content, everybody can't understand, follow. So there is a interactivity element in the learning that we are used to. In an offline environment, it's like having a great library with all the books. When a library has all the information, why do you need a school or a college? You can just go there, pick a book and do. If without interaction, it is doable. But why do we go there? There is a teacher who guides us, and we have a doubt or we don't understand something, then they explain. So these are the elements. Two is that we are peer learning. We as a group go to school, we learn amongst ourselves, meet the friends and learn from the friends, and that is all. So we needed to bring these elements of way of learning that we are used to for forever. So that without discarding that, at the same time, leverage the advantages that technology gives. That is the model what we are calling blended learning. In fact, Prime Minister Modi ji had called it a hybrid learning in his speech when he is evaluating the new education policy. He said, we can't push children entirely onto online. It has to be a hybrid learning model to be effective. We had, I agree with that 100%. About 2.5 years back, we started that we need to have a hybrid learning. How is that? We said, okay, let's have physical infrastructure as learning centers, but they shouldn't be restricted by the quality of available teacher near them. If you just look around, all the education support brands, like big names, national brands, Fitji, Akash, and Ellen, and a lot of them, they have fantastic method and they have good teachers. They do a great job. But you would see that they're all concentrated in metro cities. Mumbai may have 20 branches of each of them. I don't know the exact number, I'm saying example. And there may be 1 or 2 branches in other cities like Pune or Nashik. But there will be more than half the district where they do not exist. Similar, I know for sure in Bangalore, all of these branches, a number of them are there, but just outside city, Kolar district, whole district, not one center of any branded training provider. Why is it? Not that there are no children, not that they can't pay at all. It is just that you don't get the teachers there who can teach at a JEE or a NEET preparation level. And without that teaching quality, opening a branch is a nightmare. Students and the parents would keep complaining about the teachers because the teacher is available, you're hiring from who is available locally. And that is the reason they don't go. So in our model, what we've done is you have a coaching center, but teaching will be done by the company. How? Virtual classroom. So this is our idea even before pandemic. Of course, during pandemic, previously our main challenge was in convincing people that teacher can be elsewhere and still teach effectively. Student can still learn and do well. But last 2 years, thanks to the Chinese, we are forced to adopt that and people have understood it can still work. And that made our job in a way easy, that remotely teacher can still teach very effectively. That said, we want to also have the elements of basic learning. That's where you have a classroom where friends and a group of students sit together. And as a business opportunity, entrepreneur, what we ask of them is, you set up the physical infrastructure, because as a company, I don't want to get into running these centers all over the country. And so what will I do? I'll manage the technology. I'll manage the education part of it, academic content. So we'll concentrate on continuously upgrading the technology and continuously upgrading and improving our content, academic side of it. And we're looking for partners who would set up the physical infrastructure, manage it, and do the local marketing. That is, you do the local marketing, reaching out, you put a hoarding or you distribute leaflet, whatever you do, enrolling students is your responsibility. It's a kind of win-win opportunity, because if you have to do on your own, you may not be able to afford or find teachers who teach as they do from our platform. Because typically most of the teaching is done by the students or teachers who themselves have been through JEE. They're graduated from IIT or minimum NIT and with a teaching experience. That is not available everywhere. So we are making it available to you on a live interactive mode. This part is not recorded. And then we added to that, we also have an app like what you have other players providing. So that app is there whenever students are not in the classroom. You have a 2 or 3 hours every day live classes, then you don't use the app. And then when you're outside at home, you want to study late evening or at night or early morning, the app is with you 24/7 throughout the year. And then all the advantages of online mode we have incorporated into. You can have assessments unlimited. You can take at your will just to test yourself. Similarly, you can have mock tests from all across 100+ centers. If student take the test, a student, when they submit the result, submits the test, immediately they get the result, but they also can see where they stand in compared to others who have taken the test. That's a real-time check, something like our election survey, though not on the same numbers as the final exam, but it gives a fair indication. This kind of advantages. We also put into app 24/7 support. They can ask unlimited number of doubts. A lot of times the question comes, if teacher is remote and number of students are joining, how will they clear their doubts? Some of them, of course, will get an opportunity during the live class itself, but the real thing is 24/7 on the app, they can keep posting questions. My academic team answers to that. So we are providing mix of all this. We also give a set of books. So overall, we try to put in a framework and a system in which student will get everything that they require to crack these exams and do better in not just exam 8th, 9th, 10th foundation we're talking, improve their concept, make them stronger. That's why we're calling it foundation. So academically, we are giving everything that a student would write, but we can't guarantee success because that also involves the aptitude and more than that, the attitude to work hard from the student. That's where the local partner also comes in handy. They'll be the one who will be hand-holding the student, guiding them, mentoring them. And we think in this model, we can give a winning combination to the student, a much better opportunity than what is available in the market and at a much more affordable price. So in all this, one point I want you to notice that we are relying our business model entirely on success of our partners. We're not just looking to make the app available. You can just buy and online and company gets its money and the student get the app. We're looking at partners. In this quest, we want to do a deep penetration, that going to the remotest parts of my firm belief is that student at the age of up to grade 10th, they should, or 11th, 12th, they shouldn't have to leave home to go for a coaching or for a tuition. That's a shame. If they have to go to Mumbai from towns of Maharashtra or go to Kota, that should be avoidable. For graduation, definitely they should go to IIT or Harvard or wherever they can get a seat into aspiration. That should be at graduation level. And two, we need to bring down the cost of preparation for these exams. Having considered this model, in our model that we are presenting, we feel we have cracked that puzzle and have a workable solution. That's where we need serious partners. And I say, as a company, we are blessed that we have Shreyas Talpade and Gaurish, who have committed to take I-30 to every corner of Maharashtra. And this event is basically to mark that and kick off that activity and pioneering. We may see more of these things. And our aim is that in Maharashtra itself, every up to taluk level, we should be present because there are students right till village level. So why can't we offer something at the taluk level where within a driving or reachable area from there without they having to go to a city? Similarly, we'll also be looking to partner with schools if they are looking for supplemental services. I'm sure they have the teachers who do a great job, but if they can give more than what they are already giving, we'll be happy to understand the requirement, customize our offerings accordingly, and do our best in that. I'm gratified that all of you took out time and effort in this, what you call Mumbai traffic, to reach here. Thank you very much. I want to thank one person, especially in this. I served in 16 Bihar, which has happened to be in the action in Galwan recently. That battalion was founded by a gentleman called Solake. He is now Brigadier Solake, retired. I'm blessed and honored that he came here to bless us and give our greetings. May I request you to stand, sir? I want to pay my respects for that. And ma'am, you too. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. A huge round of applause for our very own Colonel retired Rajendra Prasad Nadella, MD and CEO. And joining us, not physically, but virtually, is another guest of honor. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our guest of honor, Shri Vivek Anand Oberoi, who is the co-founder and chief strategy officer. Vivek Oberoi, a celebrated Bollywood star, philanthropist par excellence, and an astute business leader. He partners with sustainable social impact initiatives. He believes I-30 has a power to change the lives of lakhs of students for better. He is very involved with the operation and growth plans of IKSPL and contributes with the global experience. That's not all. We would like to know and hear from him his vision and plan in regards to I-30 Learning Center. Hello, good evening. How are you doing, sir?
Very good. Can you hear me clearly? Is my
Yes.
voice coming across to you?
Yes, yes, of course. Good evening from Indian Standard Time and good morning from USA, I suppose.
Yes, this is testing the degree of commitment I have for iScholar. I had to wake up super early. I was up at 5:45 in the morning to make sure that I'm present for this call to say hello to all of you. And this is a company that I'm extremely proud of because I truly believe that education is the game changer. I believe that education is the building block of a better future. And I think that we are doing that with iScholar. I believe that what iScholar does, what our I-30 learning centers do is an incredible service because the best teachers are in India, but the most aspirational students are in Bharat. And iScholar creates a bridge between India and Bharat, which is very, very important. Using our incredible technology, our amazing teachers, the way we are able to uplift students and fulfill their dreams and aspirations to carry not only themselves, but their families, their villages, their entire communities up to another level by cracking and achieving something like IIT or NEET or other such, UPSC exams, IAS. And there's so many potential dreams to fulfill. So I think that's what iScholar does. It empowers their dreams. And that's why I'm so proud of this organization. I'm so proud of Colonel Nadella and everything that he's achieved. It resonates with me that a man who today is standing in front of you, and I was watching him speak so well, and he's getting better and better at public speaking. A couple of years ago, he used to be a little more rough at it, but he's getting smoother and smoother. I think kahin mera effect kahin un pe rub off ho raha hai. But the amazing thing about him is that, here's a true story of a man who started out in a village and would have never gone beyond standard 4, would have never had a career in the army, would have never served our nation for 19 years in anti-terrorism operations in Assam and J&K, would have never had these opportunities if it wasn't for a benevolent teacher who said, "Main aapko agle gaon tak leke jaunga. I will put you on my cycle and take you to the next village so that you can continue with your education." And that is the kind of gap that we have in our education. Shreyas and I went to the same college together. We were both from Mithivai. And he doesn't like me saying it, but he was my senior. And even then he was one of the finest actors. I remember doing plays, watching Shreyas perform. We did a lot of theater together, and he was always, in the awards for best actor. He was always winning. I mean, he also brought so much excellence and dedication to his work right from the beginning. I remember he used to manage doing college and at the same time do professional plays. And those professional plays used to be so rigorous with so many shows, and that very degree of commitment is always there. And I'm so glad that Shreyas and Gaurish are bringing that same commitment for iScholar to take this to the next level, to take this into rural Maharashtra. I'm so proud of everything that he has achieved as an actor. But I think now, in fact, I was just watching with my son, I was watching Kon Praveen Dambe, and I was just I had tears in my eyes. Shreyas, what a performance you gave. I think it's one of your finest performances as an actor, and I continue to be so proud of you. But that's the same pride, and it's the same joy that I have when you are coming using your celebrity status to give back to society, to give back to the same rural Maharashtra, and really use iScholar as a platform. I believe that you and I have both been blessed with many trophies and many awards, but at the end of the day, they collect dust on our shelves. That's the truth of it, right? These dreams that we fulfill from kids from rural Maharashtra will be live, living, breathing awards. Those will be the true contributions that you and I do together, along with the entire team at iScholar and Gaurish, to achieve something incredible. So I'm really glad that you're on board, and all the support that you need to take this dream and fulfill the dreams of all the rural kids in Maharashtra I'm there with you, man, every step of the way. Just like I used to stand behind you in our plays in Mithibai, in our theater team, I'll stand behind you this time too, man. So thank you so much. And Gaurish, again, wish you all the very best. I can see you somewhere in the distance smiling there. The man behind the scenes always. Just wish you all the best. And so happy to have you guys on board.
Great. A huge round of applause. It's such a valuable initiative that you have taken, joining hands with I-30 Learning Center. Absolutely commendable. Thank you so much. It was absolutely great having you here and hearing from you. Thank you so much for joining all the way from USA. Thank you. And next, our guest of honor, I'll call upon Dr. Pramod Sadar Joshi to come forward and convey few words. Dr. Pramod Sadar Joshi is a managing partner of Cornerstone International Group, founder and CEO of Talentsmith Consulting, former senior director, Asia Pacific HCM Strategy and Transformation, Oracle. He is a PhD from European Global School, Paris, certified Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder, center coach, MGSSC USA, certified global coach from Global Coach Group USA, and certified independent director on the boards of director for many companies. He was a part of the core group which formed HDFC Bank under the leadership of Aditya Puri. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for our next guest of honor, as I would like to invite him and ask him to speak few words on the same. Dr. Pramod Sadar Joshi.
Thank you, ma'am. Wonderful to be here. And first of all, deep respects for all of you for having made this today here. It really empowers us. What a empowering thought leadership sharing by both Colonel Nadella and Mr. Vivek Oberoi. I mean, it's hugely inspiring. I met Colonel Nadella about 5 years back. As part of, though I've worked in the corporate, I've been teaching at the IITs and IIMs of pure of passion. So Monday to Friday was corporate. Saturday, Sunday was one or the other business school in India, Dubai, or Singapore. That brought us together. And my passion for teaching came from my father's advice or a hint saying that give back. Give back. You probably can't give a lot of money, but there's a hell of a lot of experience which is not in the libraries. The gravitas comes from actual hard work that you put in. So just give it back. So it's been a great experience teaching for the last 22 years at all these business schools. And as we speak, I'm a registered empaneled executive coach at the Indian School of Business. That's what brought Colonel Nadella and me together. I was absolutely fascinated. Here's an army man, fought the battles because of which you and I sleep well at night with our families. And here's a man who's done this amazing transition from a very different ambience of and the gravitas of army to really rocking it in the EdTech world. And what many people know or do not know is his mastery on the stock markets is unbelievable. So that's the other passion sort of that got us together. So one thing led to the other, and then we spoke about IceCall 30, and we just got, then I met Gaurish. We met about 6 months back, and I loved the passion in Gaurish's eyes and his commitment. So he said, like, we are doing this, so let's sort of get together. I said, done. So I'm signing up, I'm going to do whatever I can to help IceCall 30 really expand with all my network. But more importantly, my passion comes from a very wonderful statement, Shreyas, Colonel Nadella, from Mark Twain. He great trigger and a great powerful thought. And he says, I quote, I never let my schooling interfere with my education. Yeah. What does it mean? As Mr. Oberoi said, it's going beyond the realms of the classroom. How do we transit from intelligence to wisdom? from plethora of data and number crunching to wisdom. And what's missing today with a lot of contexts is wisdom, viveka, as they say, the consciousness. Swami Vivekananda's great thought process. How do we ensure that is what got me triggering, saying, how do we expand this? The second thought which I want to share is, I won't take long. There was a famous management guru, world renowned, unfortunately is no more. You must have heard of him, Professor C.K. Prahalad. And he wrote a book called Bottom of the Pyramid. What Colonel Nadella really set out on, which hit me between my eyebrows, was how do you really distribute this in this amazing 1.3 billion population of the country? Because believe you me, and you all know it, India's biggest strength is its human capital. And when you get into the business of enhancing, nurturing that potential and prowess, believe you me, that's a phenomenal contribution. And my heart resonated with that. Truly, truly great story, because bottom of the pyramid is when you touch and look at the Indian talent all over the world today, whether it's Microsoft or Amazon, or there are percentages on the Google number of Indian employees in these companies. How did this happen? It's all because of enhancing this goddess Saraswati's great philosophy of Vidya Vinaya Vinanti, and really doing that. The third thing is, especially with regard, Colonel Sahib, your business model, which you and I sat with Gaurish and we sort of got together. Three things. One, this model transcends time and distance, because they're leveraging all the digital technology and platforms available at our command, and therefore expanding it. Number two, when do you get fairness in a society? What didn't happen 30 years back, what's happened today is technology, because technology has democratized knowledge. So today a guy in Tirunelveli or Tinsukia or Champaran is as knowledgeable as you and sitting in Bombay Cuff Parade. Yes or yes? How did this happen? It's purely through the amazing distribution of knowledge on a real-time basis. So the third thing is real-time. The fourth thing, I think Mr. Vivek said a wonderful thing, that between India and Bharat, India has the best teachers and Bharat has probably the best students. So how do we bridge that gap? The most important thing is knowledge transfer. So the fourth important thing is, through iSchool 30, the students have access to the best and the brightest academicians and professors. So I've been a corporate guy, but I always kept one leg in the academics, which is what brought us in our value systems together, because it's great to push back. And today, when you see the bad news in economic terms of people being jailed for frauds, they're the most intelligent people on IQ. They're superlative on EQ. Guess what's missing? SQ, which is spiritual quotient. So you have fraud. So you have very fancy titled managing directors and all, really putting people at a loss of bankers, simply because this guy is not being led by this guy. The consciousness and expansion of consciousness is very critical. But coming back to the technical knowledge, to the IIT preparation, to the UPSC, to the GMAT preparation, how do we really democratize this so that the poorest of the guys has an access? As I think somebody said, if all libraries were there, then you don't need professors. You need that catalyst, if you will. Colonel Nadella, iSchool 30, Gaurish, these are catalysts, right? You got to catalyze it so that the knowledge transfer happens to one and all, so that, then you can say, let the best man win. 20 years back, there was a privileged lot. There was in cricket. So today you have an Irfan Pathan whose father was in a mosque, or, all these IPL young guys, they didn't have access to they're playing that. So to me, I think iSchool 30 is at a cutting edge of making beautiful access to the most economically down people, if you will, but in a most effective manner through the medium of technology, and a very, very powerful storehouse of the gravitas of knowledge of expert people. Because the only legacy you leave behind is the stamp of your brand. And brand India, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, is knocking now. We're at a cusp of a huge vertical growth. And I think iSchool 30 is at the very cutting edge, at a great cusp. and we are going to expand. I mean, the progress we made is already much, much faster than we thought. And we just thought, we need your blessings, ladies and gentlemen. We need your good wishes. So please, please, let's have all your good wishes. And I personally believe that the best of corporate leaders in America, having worked in quite a few countries and quite a few years, they give back. Now, you and I are not Warren Buffetts, right, who can give back. But the knowledge base through the technology transfer in the cutting edge of crypto, digital, artificial intelligence, and what have you, is what ICE Call 30 can facilitate, and we will do it. So we need your blessings. Thank you very much. These are just the thoughts I wanted to communicate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pramod Sardoshi, for such an inspiring vision of yours. And now, next, I'll call upon Dr. Uma Ahuja to share her experience and how I-30 may be of help to all the people. That's not all. Dr. Uma Ahuja has a master's degree in commerce from Bombay University, an entrepreneur, a brand strategist, a communication leader by profession, and a philanthropist by heart. She's the founder and president of Smiles Foundation, NGO associated with women empowerment, child education, and welfare. She is a recipient of Pravasi Ratna Award 2021 by Governor of Maharashtra, Shri Bhagat Singh Koshyari, Economic Times Icon 2021 Award, COVID Heroes 2021 Award by Times Group, Inner Wheel Women Achievers 2021 Award, Times Interact Award for Achievers in 2020, Maharashtra Mardani 2020 Award, Navdurga Puraskar 2019 Award, Navrashtra Women Achievers Award, and many, many more. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, huge round of applause for Dr. Uma Ahuja.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure and an honor to be part of this event. And among such august company, I'm honored. Here we're talking about education. Quoting Nelson Mandela, I would like to say that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. The digital divide was prevalent before the pandemic, but has narrowed down to a great extent. The easy availability of smartphones, tabs, with internet connectivity at reasonable rates has greatly helped online education. I feel that our aim is not just to educate Indians, but to create an awareness on the importance of education. Education not only molds an individual for their IQ, but for better understanding of behavioral traits, day-to-day functioning, compassion, and empathy towards others. Our focus is on inclusive education with equality and equity. I believe that these valuable contributions by students from all backgrounds are important and allows diverse groups to grow side by side. When we are speaking so much about the rural area, I think let's make India educated. And as of now, our current literacy rate is 74.04%. And I'm sure in the next couple of years, we can take it to the overall 82.14%, which happens to be to the world literacy rate. When Kerala can achieve 94% literacy, I'm sure we can replicate this in other states as well. Our mission of education, it is important that online education reaches all. During the lockdown, internet usage had increased by 34 million. That is more than 5% increase. With 658 million internet users in India by January 2022, we were the second highest in the world, just behind China. And this shows that paradigm shift. And being in Maharashtra, I would like to state that this education reaches every corner of the state, and we can aim at a highest literacy percentage. No less, it's a difficult task, but not unachievable at least. The old way of education has given to newer learning methods. And we have realized, especially after the pandemic, sitting at home for more than 2 years without regular classes, the children's basic foundation was not there. And here, importance of education Thankfully, during such crises, we had people like you who were a boon to the society. And in the truest of senses, India has proved to be the highest in internet usage, highest among them. Online learning platforms have helped the students not to miss out on basic education. And the concepts were clearer, visuals created much better impact. The word that we see at children that seeing is believing. It now holds true for online education because of the visual concept and stimulating things. Here I would like to mention, a person just mentioned that the children after online education were very enthusiastic about e-learning and were trying to find out more details. So, and exploring further. For them, it was like, padai bhi, fun bhi. That was the thing, that feedback we get from parents. But coming back to this, I would like to mention something about Smiles Foundation, that during the pandemic, we have been able to reach out to more than 175,000 families. Not just women empowerment, but we've been able to give them food supplies, we've been able to give them online education, health camps, vaccination camps, awareness on women-centered schemes. And there's one particular thing that I would like to say is that we have seen that there are many people who are working but not graduated, and they're trying to attempt to educate their children to the best possible way. But we see many parents, though uneducated, they still want to give the best of education for their children. Here we made a small effort, to get these parents get a degree so that they stand tall alongside their very educated children. So I would also add to that our road ahead is 3.2 million square kilometers. That's the length and breadth of India. I hope we can capture that and aim high. Looking at this year when the world is in crisis during wars and all, lack of basic amenities, let's hope that we all together help people across the nation and the globe and contribute our drop in this ocean. Helen Keller's words, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, echoes in my mind. I am privileged. Once again, I would like to say to be amongst you all, and thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Uma Ahuja, with empowering us with your valuable inputs. Calling upon next, I'd like to invite Major General O.P. Gulia, SMVSM, retired. He has a meritorious career of 37 years in Indian Army, decorated with gallantry and distinguished service awards. A frontline infantry general, he belongs to a traditional military family where his two elder brothers also served in army as a brigadier. The general has a rich experience in teaching as well. He has served as senior instructor in Army War College and was a chief instructor in Infantry School, MHOW. He believes in continuous academic growth and has a double MPhil and PhD during his army service. He has written several articles in reputed magazines. After retirement from Army in September 2020, the General Officer joined SVP Global Textile Limited as a Chief Executive Officer. He has witnessed best of both the world, Army as well as corporate. I will invite him on stage to kindly guide us on our journey. Thank you. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Major General Dr. O.P. Gulia, SMVSM, retired.
Dear Colonel Nadella, Suresh ji, Prag ji, Uma ma'am, audience, it's a privilege to be here today. And you must be thinking, इतने सारे फौजी कैसे इकट्ठे हो रखे हैं यहाँ पर? I must tell you कि जितनी ट्रेनिंग फौज करती है, ट्रेनिंग means education, learning and all, उतनी कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं करती. बेसिक 6 से 7 साल तक एक 20 साल के कैरियर में we all go through training, and that is the structured training. सीधी सी बात है, लड़ाई नहीं लड़ते तो क्या करते हैं? ट्रेनिंग करते हैं. So the education comes very natural to all of us. And how this idea of this great company, which Colonel has started, how it came. I was just recollecting as to how it was. Me and Colonel Nadella were serving together in one godforsaken place called Dumduma. No one would have heard it. It's in Assam and it's very close to Arunachal border. And we were deployed there in a tea garden and sitting under those counter-terrorist operations, and we are just discussing about it. So Colonel Nadella has come from a Sainik school, though he is also from a rural background. And I come from a completely village background. Till class 10, we did not have electricity in my village. Till class 5, we used to study with that takhti. I don't know how many of you know, Multani se dono taraf roz pote the, usko aur agle din usi mein likhte the. Class 6, we started learning ABCD. So I was so underprivileged when I joined the army that I had to compete with all the elites who came from better background and all. And that is where we were discussing how it can be that who can do this kind of a thing, can make this quality education reach to those far-flung places who are not so privileged to get it. And I guess so that this is where Colonel Nadella would have got this idea. And he is a very competent officer. He left army much earlier than his pensionable service. In 20 years, we get pension, and everyone wants to assure his life that after 20, if you want to do something, you leave. He left at prime of his career when he was a lieutenant colonel, and I'm sure he would have become a general today if he would have continued in army. But because of his passion, he left army and he came out and he vowed that he will provide the quality education to those who are not able to get the reach to it. And what we say, army's loss is the gain of the society and gain of the corporate. He has done a wonderful job, and the way this company is going, I'm sure they are making so much of a change to this society, it will be unparalleled. Education, as I see, has gone through a tremendous transformation. There are times when it was available to only very few, when the guru used to pick up his shishya, who were the privileged, like something like Mahabharata and all. Very few chosen shishyas were picked up. Only those were taught by the guru, and majority of the population or public never got chance to study or chance to a good education. There are some people like Aklevyas and all that who still could do something, but majority of them did not get it. And it continued for 2,500 years. It was somewhere in 17th century when the education was made compulsory, and countries like France and all achieved 100% literacy. Our country still continued and struggled to get 100% literacy. And literacy is one part. The quality education is so much different. And that is where, like in my village, when I was studying and all, and we never knew what the various opportunities are there. Today, when I go back, every person in my village knows what is IIT, what is JEE, what is the IAS, how to prepare and all. And the boys are going into all these fields and all. So this is what so the company iScholar, what it has done, that it has picked up all the things which a boy today or a girl today needs to make a career in his life and attain the knowledge. It's a very good blend of what we call distant learning and contact learning. Both have got its advantages and disadvantages, and Colonel Nadella blended it so well that whatever are the strengths of each, he picked it up and he put it together. In contact class, you learn from peers, you learn from the teachers, whereas in distant, when you are not able to get this education, it is made to reach to your doorsteps. And while this journey was there, the youth icons like Vivek ji and Shreyas ji have also participated. They are the youth icons and all. The youth gets inspired by their achievements in life. And this kind of a blend, when the leadership is like this of a company, which is doing, I'll call it a more of a social service than as a company. So it's bound to succeed. It's bound to succeed in an effort to provide this quality education to all of us, or our children, or our, as Vivek ji said, the Bharat. And this is what India needs. We are still into villages, we are still into far off places. And until unless the talent comes, today you see the cricket, it's getting the boys who have never thought that they'll be playing IPL. Today you see the IS list, how many, it is 80% boys or girls who are about 15, 20 years back wouldn't have been there in that list. So this is what this company, or this is what this effort, this institution is making a change to all of us. And I'm very sure about the success of this effort, success of this venture, when such a good leadership is there and such good scholars are there like Pramodji and all. So at the end, I wish them a great success. Wish to my Bharat that they get educated, they get advantage of this, this great effort. And I'm sure with efforts like Ganesh and all, this venture is going to succeed and will make a difference to our Bharat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for an amazing insight. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, joining us, our next guest of honor. He needs no introduction, as his contribution towards Indian cinema has been absolutely commendable. Yes, everyone, huge round of applause for Shreyash Talpade. Shreyash Talpade is an Indian actor, film director, producer who appears in Hindi and Marathi films, as well as he have been an active in theater and TV. He has started his career in very strong base of Marathi theater, where he entertained the audience through plays such as All the Best and Turtul. He has appeared in several critically and commercially successful films, including Iqbal, Kaun Praveen Tambe, Om Shanti Om, and super duper hit comedies such as Golmaal Return, Golmaal 3, Houseful, and many more such movies. During the pandemic, Shreyas started 9 Rasa as an OTT platform to bring theater into your home. This was also done with an intention to help people associated with theater during the pandemic, since plays had stopped and people were not getting paid. Given that Shreyas is involved in many such social causes, it was natural for him to extend not just his support, but also associate himself with I-30 as a lead partner for Maharashtra and Goa, so that he can help ensure that good quality education reaches every corner of Maharashtra and Goa. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for our very own Shri Shreyash Talpade, lead partner Maharashtra and Goa. We would like to hear some ideology of him getting associated with I-30 Learning Center and his vision for the same.
So if you're wondering why I'm walking like this, it's because my soul gave way. Yeah, that's mandatory and customary. Namaste, good evening everyone. Good evening, everyone present on stage here. And yes, before we start, the customary, like you said, Pushpa, Pushparaj, bhai jhukega nahi sala. So what has happened, I'll tell you the reason I start with this is because after the release of Pushpa, मैं इतने सारे events में गया और हर जगह they were not interested, sir, in listening to anything else that I was saying. They just wanted to listen to this dialogue first. कि पहले बोलो पुष्पा मैं झुकेगा नहीं. So then I decided might as well start with the mandatory and the customary dialogue and then move forward to whatever else we want to speak. So good evening once again. Very, very happy to be here. Of course, this is the first ever event organized for I-30 in Maharashtra and Goa by Ganesh. Ganesh is my elder brother, as you must have rightly guessed through the surname that we share. And he was very, very nervous. He said, "Tu ye to iski nahi, tu ye to iski nahi." Me ye to hai. Okay. But I got introduced to this concept through, of course, my friend Vivek. Vivek speaks so well, na? किती मस्त बोलतो तो. त्यासारखं बोलायला जमलं असतं मला पण तो काय मज्जा आली असती. पण खूप छान बोलतो Vivek. And Vivek, obviously, when I called him during the pandemic, we had a call and we were discussing about 9 Rasa. And that is when I called him and I asked him, "How are you?" And Vivek is so passionate about I-30 that the first thing he said is, instead of saying "I'm fine," he said I-30 is fine. So I said, "Sorry?" So he said, "Oh, sorry. I'm fine, but I wanted to tell you about I-30. So he was very, very involved in the whole thing. And then, of course, he took me through the entire process. And then we connected with Colonel Saab. And then Colonel Saab introduced us the entire concept, which, of course, all of us have heard now. But what I felt, I mean, he said, "Why don't you connect with us? Why don't you join us? Why don't you become a a lead partner for Maharashtra and Goa, and I said, okay, मी का करायला पाहिजे हे, मुझे क्यों करना चाहिए, मैं ये I30 का पार्टनर मैं क्यों बनूं, यू नो, जस्ट बिकॉज विवेक मेरा दोस्त है, मेरा बचपन का कॉलेज का, वो अभी है नहीं, वो कहता है कि मैं उसका सीनियर हूँ, चलो उसको अच्छा लगता है तो सही है, मैं बट हम लोग लगभग सेम एज के हैं, वो एक क्लास जूनियर था मेरा, मैं मना नहीं करूंगा, बट वो क्यों था मेरे को मालूम नहीं, जूनियर, हम तो एक ही एज के हैं, बट विवेक कह रहा है इसलिए क्या मुझे करना चाहिए. And then I heard about the entire concept, and I heard about Colonel Saab, how Colonel Saab has been a fighter all his life, and how he has thought of this particular concept. And then I wondered, ki, what am I going to do in this? In addition to obviously being a partner and earn some money out of it, what else am I going to do? What else have I done in my life? Especially, you know, Maharashtrians में एक ये रहता है, जो मिडिल क्लास महाराष्ट्रन फॅमिलीज में एक रहता है, बिझनेस वगैरे आपल्यासाठी नसतो, हा, आपण नोकरी करायची, ओके, आपण सेक्युअर व्हायचं, एक आपला जॉब झाला की सेफ आणि नोकरी, बिझनेस वगैरे नको, आपल्यासाठी नाहीये. ऍट द सेम टाइम जेव्हा तुम्ही नोकरी करू शकत नाही, तुम्ही काहीतरी ऍक्टर वगैरे असं होता, तेव्हा नेहमी तुम्हाला सांगितलं जातं की ऍक्टिंग वगैरे ठीक आहे, एक काहीतरी साईड बिझनेस असला पाहिजे, म्हणजे एकीकडे बिझनेस नाही आणि एकीकडे साईड बिझनेस पण. सो आय केप्ट वंडरिंग की ठीक आहे, आता मी ऍक्टर आहे, कर्नल साहेब मगाशी म्हणाले की यु नो नॉट एव्हरीबडी इज ॲज टॅलेंटेड ऑर फॉर्च्युनेट ॲज श्रेयस की ते ऍक्टर झाले आणि एज्युकेशन बाकीच्यांना करावं लागतं. सो आय वॉन्ट टू टेल यू सर की क्या है, एजुकेशन ठीक से कर नहीं पाए, इसीलिए फिर सोचना पड़ा और क्या कर सकते हैं, और फिर ये नौटंकी आती थी तो मैंने कहा चलो यही कर ले. But then while I was doing it, obviously there was this thing on my mind that, you know, you have to do something else, you know, because our profession is pretty uncertain. It changes every Friday. हर Friday हमारे लिए अलग होता है. कभी हमारे तारे चमकते हैं तो कभी, you know, हम ट्रोल होते हैं, हमें लोग कहते हैं क्या बकवास पिक्चर है, घर बैठ, ये गोलमाल आएगी तभी तेरे को काम मिलेगा वगैरह वगैरह. तो ये सब चल रहा था. तब मैंने कहा कि ये फिर भी ठीक है, पैसे तो कमा लेंगे, लेकिन और क्या करेंगे. So I figured that there's so much value that you can add. You know, what is it that you're giving back to your society, to your community, to your state, to your country? And I figured there's a lot more than what I'm actually doing. You know, of course, entertainment वगैरह चलता रहता है, but I'll tell you one thing that happened with me immediately after Iqbal. Iqbal film release हुई, और उसके बाद सुभाष जी ने बहुत सारे शोज रखे थे, स्कूल्स में शोज होते थे, कॉलेज में शोज होते थे. तो मैं ऐसे ही एक स्कूल के शो के लिए गया था, ढेर सारे बच्चे थे, उन्होंने पिक्चर देखी, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द फिल्म मैं ऑफ कोर्स जब फिल्म खत्म हुई तो उन्होंने मुझे बोला एंड हियर इज इकबाल, तो मैं सबके सामने आ गया, बच्चे गॉट ऑल एक्साइटेड, लॉट ऑफ किड्स केम, ऑटोग्राफ वगैरह वगैरह सारा हुआ, एंड लॉट ऑफ किड्स यू नो टोल्ड मी दैट भैया मैं भी क्रिकेटर बनना चाहता हूँ, मैं भी बॉलर बनना चाहता हूँ. Some kids came and said, मैं डॉक्टर बनना चाहता हूँ, आपके पिक्चर ने मुझे इतना मोटिवेट कर दिया है कि मैं डॉक्टर बनना है और मैं बन के रहूंगा. And then, you know, of course, I forgot about it, and I thought even they forgot about it. But some 13 years later, I met one guy. He came up to me and he said, you won't remember me, but आपके इकबाल फिल्म के बाद मैं आके आपसे मिला था और मैंने आपसे कहा था भैया मैं डॉक्टर बनूंगा. आपकी पिक्चर ने मुझे मोटिवेट किया है, मैं डॉक्टर बनूंगा. मैं आज डॉक्टर बन गया. That moment for me, I still get goosebumps when I think about that. That moment was priceless. And I said, if I can do it day in, day out, there are so many kids with so many dreams, so many aspirations. And if we can just reach out to them and provide them with this bestest quality education that we can provide in our capacity, why not? I have been traveling for my shows the length and breadth of Maharashtra. We've traveled everywhere for so many years. And of course, हम देखते थे कुछ गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में कभी यू नो क्लासेस हो रहे, कभी नहीं हो रहे, बट कुछ बच्चे होते थे जिनको पढ़ना है, जिनको नहीं पढ़ना है, जिनको एक्सेस है, किसी को नहीं है. तो जिनको एक्सेस नहीं है वो क्या करेंगे, कैसे पढ़ेंगे? उनको अगर आगे बढ़ना है, आके बोलते थे भैया हमें आपके जैसा बनना है, या ये तो मैं एक्टर होता था उनके सामने जाता कहते थे आपके जैसे बनना है। शायद कोई डॉक्टर हो तो वो कहते होंगे कि हमें आपके जैसे बनना है, कोई लॉयर जाता हो तो बोलते होंगे हमें आपके जैसे बनना है, कोई कॉर्पोरेट हॉन्चो जाता होगा तो बोलते होंगे आपके जैसे बनना है। तो वो कैसे बनेंगे? Then I figured there is this opportunity for us to reach out to all those kids out there who really want to achieve their dreams. And they can now very easily, because, you know, the idea is, I mean, we are what, 100 odd centers right now, and we're growing at a pace which is amazingly fast. So of course we will reach out to all of them, not most of them. I'm sure we'll reach out to all of them, but yeah, moral of the story, वो तो करेंगे, एंड साथ में साइड बिजनेस है तो पैसे भी कमा लेंगे। एंड क्यों नहीं कमाए? मतलब yes, of course we want to do good for our world, our society and everything, but yes, we also want to earn money. So if you're getting a great opportunity to do both, to earn money as well as, you know, do some service, why not? And I guess like, you know, Pramodji, you just said, quoted Mark Twain. I guess Mark Twain has quoted one more thing, which is, you know, there are two most important days in your life. One is the day you're born, and the second one is the day when you know the reason why you're born. I guess, you know, all of us at some point find that reason. I used to feel that probably the reason for me is to act and entertain. Yes, that is there. But there's a bigger reason where I feel I need to give back. I need to give back in whatever way I can, whatever way possible. So yes, me and my friend Vivek, we've been friends for donkey's years now. And we fooled around quite a bit in college. लोगों से तभी जब पब्लिक फोन होते थे, मोबाइल्स नहीं होते थे, तभी हम कॉलेज के दोस्तों से कहते थे कि जरा 1 रुपया देना ना, फोन करना है। और हम लोग वो 1-1 रुपया इकट्ठा करते थे, और जब 100-150 रुपये होते थे तो होटल में जाके खाना खाते थे। तो बहुत मस्ती की है हमने। So yeah, I trust him. You know, the way he has shaped himself up, the way he has moved in various industries, not only the film industry, but the corporates as well. He has been doing a lot of social work, trust me, but he doesn't really speak much about it. I don't know why, but yes, he's extremely active socially as well, and very, very responsible kind of guy. So I love him. I like him. And that's the reason I felt when he told me about this, I felt this is genuine and we need to be a part of this. So I would request, urge and prod all of you to join this family as soon as possible, you know, so that all of us together can give back to the world the way it needs to be done. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
Thank you so much, Shri Shreyash Talpade, for sharing with us commendable, absolutely commendable insight. And that's not all. Thank you all the dignitaries, all the guests of honor for sharing with us all the experience, the vision, the commendable ideology that you have with us. Thank you so much. And now I will request upon Shri Ganesh Talpade to come and extend the vote of thanks.
All right, so you heard my brother. I can't speak as well, but and I can't do the pushpa and all those, right? But yeah, I mean, before we end, I'm just waiting for 2 other dignitaries to join us. So just give me 2 minutes. They're already there. They will be walking up any moment. Again, like Sir said, army ke jawan hai, so we're just waiting for them to join us. So just give us 2 minutes. Thank you. And thank you for your patience. No, we don't. Can't. Why don't you?
Very contextual. Thank you. Shreyash ji just said joke, but he just triggered why they spoke wonderful. Linked to education I-30. हर दम हर पल किसी गैर की तलाश में रहता है आदमी. We're all searching for role models, inspiration. Great. हर दम हर पल किसी गैर की तलाश में रहता है आदमी, इस डर से कि कहीं खुद से मुलाकात ना हो जाए. So when will we really get deep down, centered, get and expand our consciousness? I think I-30 can be a great nudge in that. Another one by Bullesha, which you all must have heard, which is very good, which is the ultimate objective. Pad pad kitaba ilm da, tu naam rakh liya Qazi. I'll utter it and then I'll explain. Pad pad kitaba ilm da, tu naam rakh liya Qazi. Hat vich talwara fadke, tu naam rakh liya Ghazi. Makkah Madina kumaya, tu naam rakh liya Haji. O bandeya, tu ki hasil kita, je Rab nu na rakhya Razi. Rab here is our parents, your spouse, your children. The first line, who couldn't get it, it's Punjabi. Oh, well, you went and did your MBA, PhD, great stuff. Qazi, you call yourself scholar. Then you occupied and manipulated and occupied that corner office, which is happening. Hat vich talwar fadke, symbolic of power. You plundered like King Ghazni, so Ghazi. Then there was a call here, and you went to Char Dham and Makkah Madina, and you called yourself Haji. But damn it, Bandeya, tu ki hasil kiya tha? What the heck did you achieve? Je Rab nu na rakhya Razi. If you didn't keep your context to 360 degrees, your family, if you didn't keep that happy, and as you rightly said, sir, and Vivek, you've got to give back. Really, that higher legacy. How many cars will you have? I mean, we all eat 2 rotis or whatever. End of the day, the only legacy is you should be known what you leave behind. And to that extent, I think I-30. Sorry, I just did this filler because you said the time. I hope it made sense. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. Yes, I think your people have come, Ganesh.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Sir,
I'll do the honors. Okay, now I'll take this opportunity to promote a movie, not of Shreyas and not of Vivek also. But tomorrow a movie is releasing by the name Major. It's the story of Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan, who was the hero who saved the day for us. He's from NSG, and why I'm bringing that to context is we are very honored and privileged that we have the colonel who is in charge of the NSG group in Mumbai with us today. Hearty welcome, Colonel Kripal Singh. Honor, sir. And with him, we also have Colonel Rajesh Langeri, second in command. We are hugely honored to have you here. And I think it's a huge coincidence that tomorrow morning we are having that huge movie about someone we all admire. And at this point, I'll also score some points. I personally had the privilege of serving in NSG, of course, many decades back. Thank you. I'll request Colonel Kripal Singh to come over on to show our respect and appreciation. Colonel Rajesh.
So with that, we come to the end of the session, the end of this event. I would like to thank all the dignitaries who are on stage, my brother included. And no, but on a serious note, I would like to thank each one of you to make time today and come here, and sharing our passion, our vision. You got the opportunity. We got the opportunity to explain to you what our vision is, how we want to go about it, And we would really appreciate, that all of us come together and take the next step, as we say, ascend, the next step that we have to take. We should all come together, partner with each other, and then, progress on this journey. So thank you so much, everyone. Dinner is ready. So may I request each of you if you can just proceed for dinner as well. Thank you so much again.
Thanking all the guests, all the dignitaries, all the delegates, all the guests of honor for being present out of their busy schedule, for coming for such a prestigious event. Also, the media zone has been made. So anybody who wants to take a media bites can come over there and interact with the guest of honors and the dignitaries. And I will also request our guest of honors to kindly be on the stage for a group photo. Yeah.